What kind of people do you low-key judge? Those who constantly share memes on Facebook. Most of the time they make me cringe. Like, my mama raised a bitch. Don't mess with me. My opinion changes of them instantly. It somehow makes them seem so dumb. People who bring their 2-3-year-old to the theater to see the R-rated movie you are trying to watch. Those who don't wait for the people getting off the bus/train. There is a 100% chance it makes things go slower. People who talk loudly on the phone when they are on the bus, especially when it sounds like they are having personal argument. People that make themselves the exception. For example, when someone is out in public and makes fun of someone for wearing sweatpants or PJs and they call them lazy. But if they do it, it's fine because I was just in a rush. Whatever. Don't judge people for things you do. Just let people enjoy themselves and live their lives. Snapchat vloggers. Anyone with an only God can judge me too. Instant judgment from me every time. People who insult others at the gym. They are at the gym to make themselves better. There is no reason to be rude to them. Anyone that has a bunch of bumper stickers and decals on their car, even if I agree with them. Anyone who posts results of their IQ tests, or people similarly bragging about their intelligence. Smart people don't go around talking about how smart they are. People just realize they're smart through interacting with them regularly. If you need to say you are smart, you probably are not smart. And I would know. After all, I'm very smart. People who pull up into the crosswalk at red lights in pedestrian heavy areas. Here we go. For context, I clean rental cars. Now, I understand renting a car and treating it like a rental. I get it. What I could never freaking comprehend is renting an Expedition or a Suburban and treating it like a minivan. Just today I've had 4 Expeditions, all in varying degrees of filth. Some not so bad, some messy, and there was one that was freaking awful. Whoever this piece of crap was put their super young kids in the back, the very back, in the 3-row seating, which is a complete whore to get to. Gave them 3 bags of chips, I counted, and a can of Coke, and just let them go nuts. It was absolutely freaking gross. And it took me 20 minutes to clean. Usually it takes me 2-3 minutes to clean a car of that size. I make 9/hours and get bonuses on how many cars per day I clean. So that drove me nuts. Last week I was sitting in the return area waiting for a car to show up for me to clean. This minivan pulls up and mom and 3 kids hop out. Kids have handfuls of trash they are going to throw out like respectable human beings. Nope. This garbage human just goes, don't do that. They have cleaning people. Fuck that bitch. Anyone who either gives their child an obviously tragic name, Crystal Metheny, Richard Pingay, Harry Aper, names them after pop culture, or makes one up by abominably spelling it, just to make them feel like their child is somehow more special as a result. LDS are exceptionally skilled at churning out that last variety. A special category of cringe all on its own is naming your child Nevi, heaven spelled backwards. People who are insanely proud of the fact that they can't cook. It's not hard. And I'm not asking for a Michelin star rated meal. Read a book, watch a YouTube video, and then you get your basics. People who will post a selfie gym or a video of them working out every single time they work out. Every single time. People that block the sidewalk when they walk with friends. Walk together, BT don't fan out and completely block the sidewalk off from other people trying to get places too. This was the worst in high school, as the girls would all group up and fan out while staring at their phones and walking slowly enough I just walked around them. The one thing that makes me judge the most is when a client at work snaps their fingers in midair, thinking this will mean I will come kiss their ass for taking so long in cleaning up their dishes. I'm a freaking server, not a waitress or waiter. You can hold on a freaking second. People who are blissfully unaware of their surroundings or just don't care. For instance, slow drivers in the fast lane. People who stop in the middle of the grocery aisle. People who don't put weights back at the gym, etc. People who are rude to workers in the service industry. People who honk the second the light turns green. People who are oblivious to the fact that their dog is rude and ill-trained. Oftentimes they will walk their dog without a leash and be amused at people's reaction to their friendly dog. People who want to be the best worst at something, or turn every little thing into a negativity contest. I could really use a coffee. My 2-year was up in the night with a bad dream then got up at 6 AM. Oh yeah. Well, mine was up at 1 AM and 4 AM for an hour and she didn't go to sleep until 9 PM. Like, shut up, I didn't come here to get into a competition about whose kid has crappier sleeping habits. The quality of the song someone feels is okay to play openly. Bad parents. Like actually neglectful and abusive parents. I was raised with a mom like that. I know for a fact that being a mean and lazy parent significantly affects your children forever. Anyone in a MLM. People who complain about issues they aren't trying to change. Like an ekbert who complains about not being able to get a girlfriend, but isn't improving their hygiene, isn't trying to dress better, isn't trying to get in shape, isn't trying to learn how to talk about topics besides Blade and the Blade, etc. Make an effort. People that make their whole personality about smoking weed. The ones that, if you say anything even slightly negative about it, will react as though you just punched their firstborn child in the face. Some people will get on the bus when it's relatively empty, take the aisle seat, put their bag next to them in the window seat, and only begrudgingly slide over when the bus starts to fill up. But there is a woman I regularly see on my bus route who never moves. Last week the bus was surprisingly busy, standing room only, to the point where people were getting on and immediately stepping back off to wait for the next bus. She's still sitting there using up 2 seats. I was in the back, so I have no idea if anyone asked her to move, but regardless, she should do it on her own. It's so unbelievably selfish. I sincerely hate her. Parents that smoke inside their home then send off their kids to school reeking like ashtrays. People into new age healing, crystals, Reiki, essential oils, etc. Sorry, I just grew up around too much of this bullcrap to entertain it anymore. I've been called closed-minded, a jerk, you name it. But if upon hearing that my friend has cancer, your best idea is for them to come in and let some smelly middle-aged loser with a ponytail and crappy tattoos wave his hands and burning sage over her, you are a freaking idiot. Travel around the festivals and sell your bullcrap to all the hippy-dippy college kids zonked out of their mind on Molly. I really don't care. Make that buck. But don't pretend for a minute that it has any sort of functional application for someone with a real medical condition. People who talk really loudly. I know that it's probably just the volume they're used to, but some people genuinely give me anxiety just from how loud they speak. People who continue having kids when they can't afford or take care of the ones they have. Random people. Yeah, I see through your act. Fricko. People with multiple kids by multiple women/men, not through becoming a widower, but the ones that never married the parent of the child. You have 5 kids by 5 different men, but men are the problem, and then what guy gets a chick pregnant that has 4 kids by different men? Yikes. People who use capital letters for all words. People that talk so their voice goes up at the end of their sentence, so it sounds like they are always asking a question, even if it's just a statement. Edit. I found out I have now offended half the states in the US, Wales, and Australia. Maybe I'm the one with the problem. Fussy eaters who express disgust when you eat, or even mention something they don't like. My mother-in-law does this, complete with mock retching. It makes me want to drown her in my lamb vindaloo. Moms who are dressed nice, have nice things, have perfect hair and makeup, but their kids are dirty, barefoot, and not dressed for the season. People who post clickbait-y videos like watch this dude get owned by a bear on Facebook with the crying face emoji and tagging someone. People that drive slow in the left lane, camp in the woods, not in the fast lane. The can I talk to your manager housewives, always raising a fuss over meaningless nonsense. This is an American thing. People who claim to speak a foreign language when their entire study of it started and ended in high school. 99.9% of the time they only retained a few sentences. Parents who go out in public with their children improperly dressed or up way too late, especially into stores and things, toddlers in nothing but diapers, children in thin PJs, when it's 11 PM and 30 degrees outside, no coats in sight, etc. Especially when the parents are smoking or buying cigarettes or alcohol, when their kids clearly need better clothing. Maybe not low key, but people who come to nearly a complete stop when they are turning their car in somewhere, causing people to have to slow down dramatically behind them. People who share those dumb quotes on Facebook, the ones like, "If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best," or the one about judging a fish by its ability to climb a tree or something. Actually, that one is not dumb, but I have seen it so many times I'm sick of it now, and the quotes are always followed by a dead famous person's name, as if it was something they said. I see the same inspirational quotes all the time, with a different name each time. It instantly makes me think the person is an idiot with no critical thinking, who will just mindlessly share anything they find interesting, without giving a few moments to think about it. People in their early to mid 20s who are married/engaged who have children and automatically feel as though that makes them more mature than other people their age. They are often on FB posting about their crazy mommy life every single day, or when you talk to them, they are kind of condescending toward you if you aren't doing the same thing. Having children and having a conventional relationship is fine and a great tradition in life, but not the only path that should be revered. There are so many other ways to still love your life and gain maturity and experiences, in my opinion. People who bring babies to movie theaters. Fat parents with fat kids. Girls that wear Cookie Monster sweet pants to school. Morbidly obese people riding around in their rascal at Walmart with their cart full of junk food. People who watch videos on their phone at a high volume, out loud, in public. People who judge other people based only on things they've heard. You are an adult. Base your opinions on facts, not on what Becky said about Karen banging half the tech department. Parents who name the kids Ashley. People who inch forward at a red light. The light isn't going to change because you are moving forward an inch at a time. Edit. Due to overwhelming response. I mean heartbreaking every time. Not a slow crawl for the censor, but actually slamming on the brakes multiple times at a single intersection. This girl on FB posts the same ish selfie every week. Camera slightly above head, and she looks up a bit using her eyes. Her hair covers the sides of her face to cover up some fat. Her eyebrows are literally just thick black marker blocks. Wears a tank to expose some cleavage. Then generic caption, "I'm thankful for everything." Older men with younger women. I don't care what the love story is. I judge both of them. Furries. Disingenuous picture/experience collectors. Let me explain. I recently went to a sporting event that rarely happens in my town. Traveling exhibition. Maybe once every few years teams come through. Tickets were steep, but I sprung for them. A group of 4 women sitting in front of us showed up 1/3 of the way through. Sat there taking pictures for 8 minutes. And then we never saw them again. They paid hundreds of dollars to sit in the sun for less than 10 minutes and take a few dozen photos and leave. I've had friends go to things like a bacon food truck rally who didn't even particularly eat much meat, but they had to get their Instagram shot of their bacon meal beside their drink. In college I saw people show up late for a local show, push their way to the front, take pictures, and then leave to prove they were there and supporting a local band. It's all fake. But not just for pictures. It's so they seem interesting and involved to other people, even if they don't enjoy what they're doing. Save your time and money and only do things you enjoy, not to impress other people with how cultured you are. People who write a sympathetic message to the void in Twitter towards some tragedy. Yeah, these people will remember it in weeks' time. They only do it for themselves to feel good about themselves. You think the people who are really in those crappy situations will go to your Twitter page to seek consolidation? People that work at food stands at Costco. I don't judge them for their work. I judge them because I always leave after eating everything on the menu and gaining 5 pounds as a result. People who smoke. The taxes are theft lot. I can get behind the people who want smaller government. Even though I don't necessarily agree with them, even though we should try for the most efficient government possible. Public services are pretty nifty. And there are many things that nationalized industries do better than the private sector, but the people who claim that taxation is theft just boggle my mind. No, it's not. Laws are made by people, and part of democracy is that we've all collectively agreed to participate according to certain rules. You don't like the rules, you vote and try to change them. That happens every day. What you can't do without sounding like an asshole, at least, is to say, well, I didn't agree to any social contract. Guess the rules shouldn't apply to me. I get to do whatever I want. Because personal liberty, and then reap the benefits of the society that the rest of us built. You might as well argue it's kidnapping when the police arrest you for killing your neighbor. After all, you never agreed not to kill him, did you? You can argue it's immoral, sure. You can even try and change it, but they're not theft. And arguing otherwise is the most reliable sign I've seen that someone's political philosophy is half-baked. Anyone who buys into that Ayn Rand cosplay circle jerk can leave me well alone. I despise people that quiz you on the band shirt you are wearing. I have a pretty boy face, but I love metal music, and this summer has been the worst yet. I get called a poser for my death t-shirt. Like crap man, you don't even know me. Secretly check out the bookshelves first thing when I go to anyone's house. Books tell you a lot. People who are in line at the coffee shop, but wait until they've ordered to have payment in hand. People who wear clothes slightly too tight for their slightly larger figure. Strangers, you're in my way on the road, and you're making me wait in line. Yeah, bastards. How could you? This guy at work, who drives a jacked up Jeep Wrangler with equipment racks, spare gas tanks, air snorkel and winch. It's never dirty. Mostly bailiffs, source, and low-key judge. Adults that still refer to their parents as mommy and daddy. My sister does this. It makes me cringe every time. People who leave their shopping carts in the parking lot. These people are such horrendously lazy pieces of crap that they have to risk everybody else's cars getting dented because they can't be bothered to walk 20 feet to put their freaking cart away. Frick you. People who sell MLM/pyramid schemes. Sounds racist. Probably is. But meh. Black people who dress like a stereotypical gangster, then get mad when you joke about it, calling you a racist. White people who dress like they are going to the country club, then get mad when you joke about it. Hispanic people who deal drugs, and then call you racist for judging them over it. Basically people who dress/act like a stereotype and then get mad when others think the stereotype is true. Anyone with an effect that is clearly a manufactured persona. To be clear, I don't want all of us to dress and speak and act in the same way, but when I see most types of exotic pet ownership, or dressing every day like you stepped out of second-rate steampunk novel, or playing the weirdest instrument you can find in a public place, all of it screams, please God, let this make me an interesting person. People at school who will be the next big thing by becoming a SoundCloud rapper. Those women who wear giant hats and sunglasses to brunch. I know you threw up in the shower this morning, Jessica. You aren't fooling anyone. People who use the phrase low-key. People who do social media challenges, like that stupid Keek challenge. If I go to their house and see recyclables in their garbage can. People who use "I'm just being honest" when they're actually being rude. Anti-vaxxers. Wait, no, that's high-key. Frick 'em. Tap out. People who put their feet on the seats of the bus/train/tram/public transport in general. There's just no need for it. People have to sit on these already questionably clean seats. We don't need your gross shoes on them. All people. For any reason. People who are intolerant of others' cultures and the Dutch. People blasting music out their car windows during rush hour traffic jams. People who only post 10 selfies in a row with the dumb filters on Snapchat and Instagram stories. Like, do you really not have anything more interesting happening in your life to share? People who have BMWs, Audis, ECT and put the performance badge on their lower trim car. That is, having a BMW 330i and putting an M3 badge on it. I threw your BS. As a person who puts hours and hours into the smallest details of each cosplay I make, Sexy cosplayers irk me. They can put on a corset and a tutu and wiggle there, but for upvotes, while true craftsmen/craftswomen get ignored. Confederate flag people, racism or no, if you have that bad boy flying, I low-key assume you aren't very educated. I was talking about that one day and someone with Confederate flag profile picture posted in a public forum asking if anyone knew where he could get a jed. I snorted. Honestly? And even though I'm completely wrong for doing so, people who yell at their kids or pets in public. People who spit on the ground. People that don't use their turn signals while driving. I assume they are either incredibly stupid or they think they are above those around them. People that sound like they are talking with a mouthful of food, but really their mouth is empty. People that get pregnant/start having kids and immediately go out and buy a $40,000 sub that they need. Bonus points if they talk about how expensive their kids are all the time. Mouth breathers. I can't help but to see them as less intelligent. People who assert their political beliefs onto others. Anyone I see at the airport. When I fly I'm a judgmental freak. People who put ugly rims on classic cars. I will never let these people merge in front of me. Men who walk around shirtless. When you go to their house, and which direction they have their paper towels and toilet paper. People who say low-key something. That one person who always has a crazier/scarier/better story than the one you just told them. 500-pounders rolling around Walmart in the electric mobility cart, filling it to the brim with every kind of super unhealthy thing. Tech YouTubers who pose the same way on their thumbnails. The mock thinking pose with duck face. I'll bring the controversy. People with multiple visible tattoos, especially if they are not a Polynesian warrior, badass motorcycle gang president or some kind of artist. The university I teach at, it's now like a huge common trend for the young people to get full sleeves, uncoverable neck tattoos, and worse, I think women get full chest and neck pieces which nothing but a turtleneck is going to cover. I just remember all my old friends that got the Barbed-Wire tribal bands or tramp stamp tattoos back in college by their late 20s were running to the dermatologists to get them lasered off. People who message me on social media to try and sell me Juice Plus, Yaunique, Herbalife and the like. Frick the frick off with that crap. People tossing/dropping cigarettes out the car window. People that wear beaters out in public. People who dress in way too tight of clothing. If I can see your stomach falling out of your shirt, I'm grossed out. Parents of fat children. People who say they don't like dogs. Meme oversharers on Facebook. Anyone posting anything about MLM schemes. If you wear clothes that are stereotypical to a particular group or mindset, I'm going to assume that about you. The I'm too good to wait in a traffic line, so I'm gonna rush ahead and force my way so others have to wait people. If you order your steak anything above medium. I think everyone low-key judges everyone and everything. It's how we arrive at conclusions and produce decisions. There is weight to face value. There's no way around that. Although, exploring your judgments, I think, is the most important key. Don't solidify a passing judgment as fact. Keep an open mind about everything. Sure, you can label and compartmentalize things, but there's very little black and white in this world. The gray should be embraced, and so should change. Additionally, although convenient, generalizations are more often harmful and inaccurate than not. Keeping your judgments accurate and usable to your advantage comes with practice, constructive effort, sympathy, and intelligence. Guys who objectify women. Growing up with 3 amazing sisters, I take it personally when guys talk about women like they are nothing but sexual objects, and it makes me wonder what kind of person they really are. People who idolize celebrities and cry when they meet them or freak out. He or she is a human just like me and you. Only difference is they have a lot of money and a lot of people know them. Transgender people. Now don't get me wrong, if you think you're a guy or girl, go for it, but once you start making up your own pronouns, then you're insane and probably need help. In general, I think it could quite possibly be a mental illness. P.S. I can't wait for all the hate this will get me. Loud people. There's usually no need for it. Yelling inclusive. I don't want to hear your conversation from 10 feet away or get in a raised argument. Old women who dye their hair bright colors, pink, blue, purple, etc. to try to appear younger. I'm gay and I hate gay people. The kind of gays that are all flaunts and stereotype us in general. Makes me mad out of my good, like you wouldn't know. I hate that they think it's okay to stereotype us and be all missionary and get people to love gays. F number KU. Make sure to like and subscribe so we can watch together.